I'm Tom. I run the Big Lemon Bus Company in Brighton. Has anyone been on a Big Lemon bus? Yeah. Did you like it? Yeah. Who hasn't been on a Big Lemon bus? Do you want to go on a Big Lemon bus? Hey! Okay. So, it was really cool listening to Ruth just now, because what Ruth is trying to do with the food industry, and dare I say, has made a massive impact already in Brighton. I'm trying to do this with the bus industry. Not just the bus industry, but the public transport framework and sustainable travel in general. So what was really frustrating for me for many years was that public transport in London, in other major cities, okay, it's quite good. Outside of those places, it's really terrible. And it's not really seen as something that people would use out of choice. So in a lot of places, it's only the poor, the elderly, the young people that don't drive yet. It's these kind of people that use the bus. And there's this kind of weird stigma that bus use is only really if you've got no other option. So part of what we're doing at the Big Lemon is trying to change that. And we're making the experience on the bus as good as it possibly can be, so people can then, enjoy traveling by bus, appreciate the enhanced social interaction it gives them, the community spirit behind it, and also empower communities to set up their own bus services where previously there are no bus services or nothing adequate. At altitude in May, somebody asked me, so what is it, apart from the waste cooking oil that we run the buses on, apart from the kind of community engagement that we do, what is it actually about the experience of the Big Lemon that makes it different from the experience on any other bus? So I had to think about this, and essentially part of our training that we do for our drivers is a kind of 10-step process that takes the driver from one bus stop to the next bus stop. And it's broken down in terms of everything the bus driver needs to do to pick people up at a bus stop and give them an awesome experience and drop them off safely at the next bus stop or wherever they want to go. So thinking about this, I started describing some of these steps. And then it struck me that actually this isn't just about the journey of the bus between the bus stop and the next bus stop. It's also our philosophy of the way we run our business. And then I was thinking, actually, this is basically my philosophy for life, not just for the business. So I'd like to share that 10-step process with you today, and hopefully you can then take the best bits and ignore the silly bits, and maybe use some of those things to help your own business and your own life. So the first thing that we do when you get on a Big Lemon bus is smile and say hello. So it's not rocket science, but how many people have been on a bus and essentially been ignored by the driver as you get on the bus? Hands? Yeah, almost everybody, right? It's terrible. If you're running a shop, you don't just kind of grimace at customers as they walk in the door, do you? Why would you do that on a bus? But it's these small things. I mean, so this is Neil. He's one of our bus drivers. He's been with us about 6 years. And every time, Neil will give you a big smile and say hello. If we're nice to people, they'll want to come again. If we're nice employers, our drivers and maintenance staff will want to stay with us. If our drivers are nice to the customers, the customers will have a great experience. It's that simple. Help people with their bags. It's the same thing. You often have, some drivers across the country, brilliant. They tend to be the more traditional ones, to be fair. They get out of the cab, they help on Mrs. Jones with her shopping. But some just kind of, you look at you as if you've, just as if you're just taking the mick. Like, what the hell? It's just about being a nice person and going the extra mile to help that person with whatever their needs are. So go the extra mile for all your customers. Once they're on the bus, wait for the old lady to sit down before you start driving away. Now, how many people have been on the bus and there's somebody who's a little bit frail halfway down the gangway and the bus is already away? Anyone? Anyone seen that before? Yeah. It's like 3 seconds, 4 seconds to wait till they've sat down properly. These are the really small things that make a big difference, and it's about being attentive to people's needs. So if you understand your customer and think, what can I do to ensure that that person has all their needs met whilst they're in my care, then you're onto a good thing. Watch for runners. So runners are people that are legging it for the bus. And how many of you have ran for the bus and missed it because you've got that close? Sometimes you'll even be banging on the window or the door, and the bus hasn't even moved out of the bus stop. And the driver looks at you and goes, sorry, I'm already indicating, so I better... But it's just nonsense. If you're indicating already, you can unindicate. You can indicate the other way, open the doors, and let them on. Apart from anything, apart from being bloody-minded and unhelpful, it's also really bad for business. Every one of those runners is an extra £2.20. Why on earth would you not stop and get another £2.20 and then do it again an hour later? And if you do that 3 or 4 times a day, every day for a week, that's a healthy profit margin on a bus service. So look for runners, look for those opportunities. Who haven't you served because they weren't obvious? Who's kind of over there and over there? And who really wants your service but just isn't quite getting to you fast enough? How can you reach those people? Check your blind spot. So as the bus is ready to leave, the drivers have to check the blind spot. And that, obviously, they're trained to do that. All bus drivers are trained to do that. But bus drivers do need to be reminded sometimes to check the blind spot. Especially in Brighton, we've got lots of cyclists. Cyclists are really hard to spot unless you actually physically put your head out the window and have a look for them. So, in your business, where are your blind spots? What are the threats that you can't see because they're where the red car is? Accelerate smoothly. How many people have been on the bus and it's gone, and then there's a red light over there, and then it's gone, anyone? Anyone have that? Yeah, almost everyone. So, as you're driving, make people have the most comfortable ride that they possibly can have. I've stolen a growth chart from Sherlaw's, and I like this chart because it's like changing gear in a bus. So, and it's quite smooth. So it's not zigzaggy, because if you're on the bus and it zigzags, then it really, really hurts. But if you think of down here, that's first gear. So you're accelerating up. And then you have to change gear. And so you gradually change gear, and then you go to the next gear, and you gradually change gear. And if you gradually change gear, then you bring people with you. And if you bring everyone with you without jolting the ride, without stressing people out, then you'll make something big and wonderful. Obviously, you can't stay in first gear forever. So if you need the dips to change up a gear, and if you put that investment in, then you can get to the next level, and then change gear again, and you're away. Be aware of other road users. So as you're driving the bus, you need to maintain awareness of all the traffic coming from all directions, whether it's mopeds, cars, pedestrians, or elephants. And we spoke earlier about threats, so there may be some threats lurking in there. There may also be some really good opportunities in the marketplace. There will certainly be opportunities in the marketplace. And if you have an awareness of your marketplace and know your marketplace, then you'll be able to take those opportunities. And there'll be lots of people in that marketplace that you can partner with. For example, if I'm driving the bus, there are pedestrians, there are cyclists, there are motorists, and I tell all the drivers that all of those people, whether they're pedestrian, cyclist, or motorcyclist, they're all potential customers, because those people that are walking today, they might be on the bus tomorrow. That van driver that just cut you up might have been an accident, and he might book you for his wedding next year. So don't honk at him and give him the finger. Be nice. And then all of these people in the marketplace may be potential partners for you. Don't get distracted. So as you're driving along, you need to maintain your focus. To maintain a safe journey from one bus stop to the next, don't get distracted by the supersized woman in a bikini under the bridge. And in your businesses and in your lives, it's very easy to get distracted. You think, oh, this contract looks really, really good. Let's do that. And then actually you realize you're kind of really busy doing this contract, and it's not what you wanted to do when you set up your business. It's a bit like, in fact, last year at Summercamp, we had a number of people that came up on this stage and said, yeah, I worked for IBM, and it was terrible. And I realized, it's a bit like what Ruth was just saying about living in Barcelona with the nice job. Something's missing. It doesn't make you happy. And a lot of us get halfway through our working lives and then go, wait a minute, I got distracted. I got distracted by the money, the fast car, the nice shoes, and I've kind of forgotten where I was heading. So remember your destination and maintain your focus on your destination. As the driver reaches the destination, I train all the drivers to stop as close to the curb as possible. It's the small things that make a big difference. For old Mrs. Jones, as she's getting off with her luggage, shopping, if she has to do a great leap, and it might not look like a great leap to you or me, but if she's taking little steps like this, then anything more than that is difficult. So remember the small things. Just as we greet people as they get on the bus, we also acknowledge them as they get off the bus. Smile. A lot of passengers will say thank you, no problem, thanks very much for coming, see you later. Mrs. Jones. Mrs. Jones rides the bus a lot. Leave that lasting impression. Leave them wanting more. Make sure when they leave you, they want to come back. They're already thinking about the next time that they can get on your bus. So I hope to see you all one day on my bus. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.